What does Memorial Day mean to me? I contemplated that. I'm sitting here thinking about it. How can I put that into words and try to share that with anybody? That it'll have anything meaningful to them. You're either going to be able to relate or you're not going to be able to relate. Memorial Day. I think, I've gone through the numbers and the facts and statistics. I did all that last year in a video on Memorial Day. But I'm going to be a little bit more grassroots and right to the crux of the matter, I think, today. And much more personal. I think that now Memorial Day is synonymous with the flag, with the American flag, because I'm American. We're here in the United States of America. And so being that flag, the huge difference between what that flag meant to me as a child when I saw it displayed, by my father in our front yard, and what it means to me today as a 55-year-old guy. Big difference. Big difference. I think that a lot of the innocence that time in my life as a child, things that came to mind when I saw that flag and what I was taught to feel and observe and respect concerning the flag of the United States of America, and even the office of the presidency of the United States of America at the time. It was a completely different time. Patriotism was in great abundance. It was palpable in the air in this country. I was there, so you can't tell me any other. Then today, a lot of the stuff that's happened, I enlisted right out of high school. There's no great story there. There's no kind of adventure and drama or action there. And I think most veterans would tell you the same, would claim the same, even if it were not true to most people if they were to have an inside peek. But I've seen so many things over the years, just growing up, as everybody does, and getting old, and the changes in society, and the way that we view things, and we look at things, treat things, speak of things. Everything from the wars that we seem to engage in today, or in this modern time. I've known a lot of people that served during wartime. I know quite a few Vietnam vets. Several live right here, close to me, buttressed against this property. One of my very best friends, who I've known for over 40 years, he, Vietnam veteran, Marine, him and his best friend both served together. I know both of them. Both are humble guys when they speak about their service. So I think, during the greatest generation in that time period, in which my grandmother's brother lost his life in World War II. My grandmother assembled bombs in a plant during World War II, back home, here, in the States. And it seems that somewhere along the way, we've gradually gone from, we've lost that innocence, we've gone from hailing our returning troops as heroes and saviors to, Vietnam period, spitting on troops and insulting them, and until today, where today, I have to say that just my observation, there's a great deal of indifference. There's I don't know, the social justice type of virtue signaling that people do. You see that a lot, but it just seems that we're not as, I don't know. If you don't agree, you don't agree. If you don't see what I see, you don't see it. But I think it's gotten to be now we're just pretty much indifferent to the whole thing. We just go on with our lives, regular routine. And of course, it also seems we're constantly at war with somebody now, to no end. And I think that's a big thing, but we really don't see the end game. We really don't see the whys. And I don't think that's... it goes back to that flag. What it, at some point, meant to my father. In fact, I know what it meant to him most of his life, but when you look back, you imagine him as a young man. I know at his funeral, at the funeral home, there were a lot of pictures there, and some of them displayed him in his youth as an Army soldier, a young man. And that's the same guy, that's the same guy that I was looking at lying there in state in that casket as an old man. That was the same man. And what that flag must have meant to him, and what that flag had to have meant to so many in times of sacrifice and the incredible amount of stress and demand placed on them, and so far from home. The one thing that they had in common, they had refuge in that flag, in that patriotism, in that belief that they were serving a greater good. Whether you believe it here or you do not believe it here, or you believe something totally contrary, nonetheless, that flag gave peace of mind and solace to a lot of people at various points in their lives. So now today, what the flag means to me is it juxtaposes right there with Memorial Day, because that's the closest thing it brings to my mind, is the way that flag was folded. My dad's burial, the way that honor guard folded that flag and brought it all back or home, full loop, back to closure. That was that young man, in those drab army greens. That was him as an old man. In the end, and the way they folded that flag and presented it to his wife on behalf of the President of the United States as a token of appreciation. And I think that there's probably many flags like that are people's homes that have adorned caskets all across this nation of people who were someone's brother, someone's sister, someone's uncle or aunt, or someone's mom or someone's dad, or someone's child. And where those flags are today, and on this day that we celebrate this in remembrance, I'm sure that flag means something completely different now, indelibly different to those people than what it means to the people who don't share that tragic, sad connection with it. Much like, our own Jerry, with that flag that is proudly displayed on his mantle folded in similar fashion. What must that mean today? Now that flag just completely embodies that human mortal life. That's what I think. That's what I think. That flag in its folded state, displayed somewhere in all these various homes, wherever they have ended up, that flag pretty much just represents the period at the end of a human life. Anyway, I think that other than that, I just think that Memorial Day isn't just, it's nice to have one particular day that hopefully people stop to think about it, but I'm not really sure. I'd like to think, but I'm not sure that everybody across the nation actually stops to think about it. Or, how many people over the world actually stop at any day during their busy, hectic lives and think about their own loved ones and the patriotism that man or woman had to have held for their flag when they opened their eyes to a reality wherever they were, whatever time period it was, whenever it was, that they wore a uniform, and in their eyes they defended and upheld the spirit and principles that flag represented, and they found solace in that and pride. Anyway, that's what I think about Memorial Day.